"Don't be uptight," Jolene whispered. "I ain't gonna hurt nothing." She giggled softly. "I'm just horny." "You know what it's like to be horny?" Beth did not know. "Just relax. I'm just going to rub a little. It'll feel good, if you let it." Beth turned her head toward the corridor door. It was shut. The light, as usual, came under it. She could hear distant voices, down at the desk. Jolene's hand was moving downward. Beth shook her head. "Don't," she whispered. "Hush now," Jolene said. Her hand moved down farther, and one finger began to rub up and down. It did not hurt, but something in Beth resisted it. She felt herself perspiring. "Hush it," Jolene said. "I bet that feels good." She squirmed a little closer to Beth and took Beth's hand with her free one, pulling it toward her. "You touch me, too," she said. Beth let her hand go limp. Jolene guided it up under her nightgown until the fingers grazed a place that felt warm and damp. "Come on now, press a little," Jolene whispered. The intensity in the whispering voice was frightening. Beth did as she was told and pressed harder. "Come on, baby," Jolene whispered, "move it up and down. Like this." She started moving her finger on Beth. It was terrifying. Beth rubbed Jolene a few times, trying hard, concentrating on just doing it. Her face was wet with sweat and her free hand was clutching at the sheet, squeezing it with all her might. Then Jolene's face was against hers and her arm around Beth's chest. "Faster," Jolene whispered. "Faster." "No," Beth said aloud, terrified. "No, I don't want to." She pulled her hand away. "Son of a bitch," Jolene said aloud. Footsteps came running up the hallway, and the door opened. Light streamed in. It was one of the night people whom Beth didn't know. The lady stood there for a long minute. Everything was quiet. Jolene was gone. Beth didn't dare move to see if she was back in her own bed. Finally the woman left. Beth looked over and saw the outline of Jolene's body back in bed. Beth had 3 pills in the drawer. She took all 3. Then she lay on her back and waited for the bad taste to go away.
The next day in the cafeteria, Beth felt wretched from not sleeping. "You are the ugliest white girl ever," Jolene said, in a stage whisper. She had come up to Beth in the line for the little boxes of cereal. "Your nose is ugly and your face is ugly and your skin is like sandpaper. You white trash cracker bitch." Jolene went on, head high, to the scrambled eggs. Beth said nothing, knowing that it was true. King, knight, pawn. The tensions on the board were enough to warp it. Then whack. Down came the queen. Rooks at the bottom of the board, hemmed in at first, but ready, building pressure and then removing the pressure in a single move. In general science, Miss Hadley had spoken of magnets, of lines of force. Beth, nearly asleep with boredom, had waked up suddenly. Lines of force, bishops on diagonals, rooks on files. The seats in a classroom could be like the squares. If the red-haired boy named Ralph were a knight, she could pick him up and move him 2 seats up and 1 over, setting him on the empty seat next to Denise. This would check Bertrand, who sat in the front row and was, she decided, the king. She smiled, thinking of it. Jolene and she had not spoken for over a week, and Beth had not let herself cry. She was almost 9 years old, and she didn't need Jolene. It didn't matter how she felt about it. She didn't need Jolene. "Here," Mr. Shable said. He handed her something in a brown paper bag. It was noon on Sunday. She slipped the bag open. In it was a heavy paperback book, Modern Chess Openings. Incredulously, she began to turn the pages. It was filled with long vertical columns of chess notations. There were little chessboard diagrams and chapter heads like Queen's Pawn openings and Indian defense systems. She looked up. He was scowling at her. "It's the best book for you," he said. "It will tell you what you want to know." She said nothing but sat down on her milk crate behind the board, holding the book tightly in her lap, and waited to play. English was the dullest class, with Mr. Sparrow's slow voice and the poets with names like John Greenleaf Whittier and William Cullen Bryant. With her, midst falling dew, while glow the heavens with the Bryant. With her, midst falling dew, while glow the heavens with the last steps of day. It was stupid. And he read every word aloud, with
She held modern chess openings under her desk while Mr. Sparrow read. She went through variations one at a time, playing them out in her head. By the third day the notations, PK4, and KB3, leapt into her quick mind as solid pieces on real squares. She saw them easily, there was no need for a board. She could sit there with modern chess openings in her lap, on the blue serge-pleated skirt of the Methuen home, and while Mr. Sparrow droned on about the enlargement of the spirit that great poetry gives us, or read aloud lines like "To him who in the love of nature holds communion with her visible forms, she speaks a various language," the moves of chess games clicked into place before her half-shut eyes. In the back of the book were continuations down to the very end of some of the classic games, to 27th move resignations or to draws on the 40th. And she had learned to put the pieces through their entire ballet, sometimes catching her breath at the elegance of a combination attack or of a sacrifice or the restrained balance of forces in a position. And always her mind was on the win, or on the potential for the win. For his gayer hour she has a voice of gladness, and a smile and eloquence of beauty. Read Mr. Sparrow, while Beth's mind danced in awe to the geometrical rococo of chess, rapt, enraptured, drowning in the grand permutations as they opened to her soul, and her soul opened to them.